Howdy, howdy. It's Tuesday afternoon. We're going to try and do a quick backtesting session, practice following our rules, get in a trade, take some profit, and call it a day. I've done these days before, but obviously I'm not going to remember price action for every single day. Pretty much I'm just going to trade from 10 to 12 on this day and see if we can catch a trade. I'm going to use the 1 minute to the best of my ability, pretty much figure out the direction for the short term for the 2 hours that I'm going to be trading, and just try to find a setup utilizing pretty much Stoics SBS combined with DTFX market structure and all that jazz. So let's get into it, and I'm going to be targeting 1 to 2 and just see how it goes. And so pretty much what I'm looking for is a direction, right? So, and obviously it's not that easy. Like, there's higher time frame stuff to the left that we may be reversing from. Obviously right here it was just a bunch of bullish price action. We have a market structure shift to the downside here on the higher time frame. But I'm going to stick with the kind of intraday movement, and to the best of my ability, just use the 1 minute. So right here, we have a low, high, low, broke this high. So we have this range. And let's see if SBS sets up, which is pretty much, a tap back in, equal highs or a new high. And then we'll look to catch an entry somewhere back in this range. Very simple. And an extra parameter that, I'm using is obviously just the 50 tap. Sometimes we won't get to the 50. Sometimes we'll just run straight through it. But that's where a bunch of rules come in to try to keep you on the right side of the market and keep you out of bad trades and keep you from chasing, things like that. So right now we're tapping into this range. Let's see what happens. Quite frankly, for me, we've already tapped pretty much the 50 of this range, so I wouldn't really be looking to take a trade out of this range. But if we get a flip on the 15-second, I may look to take a trade. So I slowed it down. 15 seconds, pretty quick. And so oftentimes this origin here offers the trade. We broke the range, tapped back in, equal highs, swept. So this was a trade right here. But I haven't practiced as much with like the initial move down here. Also, one could say this range right here also presented a trade. It didn't tap the 50, but we broke the range, tapped back in, and swept it back over here. Was there a flip? There was a flip. Not the cleanest candlestick structure flip though. And we'll just follow market structure. Let's see if we get a candle closure. We wicked above. So we got to be careful. We may start ranging, but I'm only going to be looking for longs. Only. There's obviously going to be pullbacks where we could get involved to the downside, but I'm just going to try and wait to see if we could, stay aligned. Oftentimes this failure swing right here will offer a trade out. So we broke the range, tapped back in. But I'm going to try to stay on the long side unless we break this low down here. candle closures. Okay, so I'm gonna switch bearish. And so I'll anticipate a trade back up into here, and then I'll look for a short. On the 12-minute, I see all this liquidity down here. And who knows, there might be news today. But obviously we've just tanked 100 points, so I'm not gonna get involved in that. We could potentially look for a long back into this range, but I like to see clean structure right on the market turn. You know, obviously there's a trade out of there. Let's see if we make a new high right there. So potentially a trade right here. We could try to frame it. This is counter trend though, but if we're anticipating a trade back into the range, this is lower probability because we could just keep tanking forever. And we might not even get a trade anyways. But I would still take this. Let's see if we drop back down. Nope. We're tapping back into the higher time frame range. If we made a bearish zone right here, I don't think I'd take it, because we have all this unmitigated stuff up here. Oh shit. And so I don't know, man. Sometimes it's difficult. That could have been enough of a pullback that will just come take this low, so it makes this zone riskier. What are we tapping into on the 12-minute? We swept a low to the left. This could just be the pullback. We're dropping pretty quickly. I don't know if I want to take this. On the 1 minute, we broke out, tapped back in, made a new high. I'll just take it.
Order submitted. Order filled.
And we'll see what happens. This is counter trend, so it may just offer the 1-to-1, or we may just lose. But if you're trading with the trend, I think 1-to-2 is a decent target. But let's see. Counter trend, I think 1-to-1 is pretty safe. And then I just want to watch these candles form, because when you're watching this stuff in real time, you got real money on the line. You know, every tick feels, sometimes feels painful. So you gotta watch the candles, watch it go against you, watch it go in your direction, so you can be emotionless while you're in the trade. Sometimes we just get a reaction from the 50 and then we continue to dump. We did sweep this low and then broke this high. So there was a flip. Pretty much risking, we got 2 micros going, risking $80, which is pretty much too much risk, I think. I would have to trade one contract, risk 40 to make 80. We're very close to the 1-to-2. 30 points is enough, in my opinion.
Order filled.
So I'm gonna just take that. Very nice trade. I hope my thought process was clear on that one. I followed my rules. I tried my best to just follow 1 minute market structure to get a direction. Initially, we saw this candle closure, but initially we were bullish in the intermediate term because of this structure that was building, but the sequence didn't quite play out. And this is where discretion comes in, you know. I didn't see that quick tap back in and then a new high or equal highs. We dug in pretty deeply. Also, you know, you got to keep in mind this is intermediary structure after we took out, you know, this protected low on the 1 minute. So switched our bias once we got that confirmation closed below here. So if you're bearish, why am I taking a long? Because I'm just anticipating a trade back into this range. But it doesn't have to, so taking a long back into the range is more risky than waiting to get back in line with the overall trend. Hope that makes sense. That was a nice $117 trade, and then at that point I would call it a day. Hope this was helpful. See ya.